Well, hello everybody in Facebook and YouTube land. So great to see everybody. My name is Al Torrance. I'm the president of the Upper Canada Musicians Association, and we are starting something new. We're going to give this a try. We've been fortunate enough to create have a lot of great people joining us for our concert series here in Brockville. And I thought that it might be a good idea to kind of stretch out and invite a few of our musicians that are a little farther away than Brockville to join us on the odd occasion and tell us and keep us up to date on how There we go. Now we're back. You gotta love live shows. It drives you crazy some days on how all this can transpire. And you've been working fine all day, and all of a sudden, boom, your computer decides to pack it in for a couple minutes. Isn't that just handy? Anyways, with all this in mind, like I said earlier, we're trying to develop and reach out to some of our musicians that haven't been in the area, and we have one person in particular, and she's with us tonight. Would you please welcome, all the way from North Carolina, April Verch. Hello, April.
Hi, Al. I'm glad you're
How
back.
you doing? I'm glad too. That was amazing. I was like, oh, geez, the blue screen of death is what I saw there for a few seconds.
I
So
know. How many times have we tested this together and everything is great, right? It never fails, but it
you
keeps
know
us
what?
honest.
The great thing is that this program kept us going. So that's all that matters. So there you go. How you been
Excellent.
doing?
Excellent.
Say hello to all your Ontario and your friends from all over the place, because you have more than one, don't you?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, so great to be here, and thanks for inviting me to join you for the Parlor sessions and for the concert next week. It's
That's
good
right.
to have that connection with you guys and feel closer to home.
Yeah, well, this is great. So we decided to probably dig a little bit back in your history to find out where this all started. Like this isn't, you haven't just started this. This is something that you almost grew up with. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not young anymore, so when you say we're going way back, I'm thinking, how long do you have?
Well, let's see. I've got this picture to start
All
with.
right, that's a great
So
one.
tell us a little bit about this. This is you were only what? Maybe
I was
five,
maybe
five or
4 or
six?
5 years old.
Wow.
I say that because I started step dancing first, and I started when I was 3 years old. And this is an early recital, but I don't look like I'm three, so I'm thinking that might have been the second or third recital. I took lessons from Buster and Pauline Brown,
Oh,
legends
I
of
was going
step
to
dancing.
say, yeah, I was going to say that. Here he is. I actually, I've brought this along with me today. Can you tell me a little bit about this man? He's really influenced your career, hasn't he?
Yeah, Buster was my first teacher, and then later his wife Pauline as well. They taught up and down the Ottawa Valley, a different town every weeknight, and we were fortunate to get to perform with them as well. So I knew Buster quite well. He learned from Donnie Gilchrist, and Donnie is the pioneer, the father of our Ottawa Valley step dance style, and so.
Yeah, no
It's
kidding. No,
really cool.
there were some distinct differences between the styles. Like when I watched Pauline and Buster dance, they were two very different styles of dancing, weren't they?
Yeah, the style has continued to change and evolve over the years. Buster's style was different than Donnie's, certainly, and Pauline's a little different. But it is a style that drew from so many different places. Donnie Gilchrist was a tap dancer as well. Uh,
Yeah, that's right.
you
Yeah,
know,
I saw so. You know what? I think Barry Gilchrist, which is Donnie's
Son.
son, I would suspect, has
Yeah.
posted a few pictures of some of Donnie's dancing, along with a couple other some fiddle players that we'll chat about a little later. But amazing, like he was so fluid, like he was so relaxed when he danced. It looked like it was natural for him, wasn't it?
Definitely. I'll tell you something very exciting that nobody really knows yet. I'm working on a collaboration right now with a great step dancer from England. His name is Simon Harmer, and
Wow.
we are studying Donnie Gilchrist and a traditional dancer from the same era who was from England, from Simon's neck of the woods, Alex
Oh my
Woodcock.
goodness.
And we're comparing their styles and coming up with some steps and a routine that would honor them both. So
Oh, isn't that awesome?
I've been talking with Barry, doing some research on Donnie, and he's been so helpful. And Barry and his siblings, Tony and Gina, they're great dancers too. Look up some
Wow.
videos of Barry; you'll love it.
He's certainly in the genes, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Northwind opened for April back in Brockville in 1995. Oh, look at that. Do you remember Steve Stang? I've known Steve for quite a while. So do you
Yeah,
remember
and
that?
I think it might have been the Balloon Rodeo Festival that.
That's right. That would have been at that was at the Grenville Christian College at that time frame. That it was called. It's changed now. It's a
Maybe
different place now.
Steve
But
Steve can comment and tell me if that's right or if I'm way off the mark, because anything's possible.
oh, right on. So yeah, like let's see what have I got here. There's a couple of pictures of you here taking some hardware home.
Yeah, it was great. There were so many contests in Ontario when I was growing up. I started dancing first, as I mentioned, at 3. Then I started playing fiddle at 6. And between May and Labor Day weekend, we could go to a different contest every weekend. And my
It was
parents took us to every one that they were able to. Um, and
It
what
was
a
it was quite the time back in the 80s in that time frame, wasn't it? Like
yeah.
there was all the old time fiddler clubs that were going around at that time frame. The one biggest one in Osgood and Metcalfe. Did you ever make it to any of those?
Yeah, I was a member of the Renfrew County Fiddlers.
Oh
Um,
wow.
but we were lucky enough to get to go and perform and jam with some of the other ones too, and that's what the contests were so great for, was having, it wasn't about the contest, right? It was about getting together with other people that love
It
to
was
play just as much as you. And
Yeah, it was the social aspect of it all.
definitely.
I'm just going to bring up a picture here of something that was probably, let me see if I can bring it up here or not. It's quite interesting. Well, you're going to show up here? There we go. Let's see if we'll get it going here. There we go. Guess who that is?
Is that you?
That is me. I was about, that was taken in 1967. I was 2 years old then. That's so
Wow.
you talk about destiny between the two of us, right? So
Listen, Al, you got to work on your bow grip. You're holding it halfway up the bow.
it was terrible. No wonder I didn't turn out to be a fiddle player, I'll tell you.
That's
And the other,
adorable.
well, yeah, and the other thing here too was, you know, you can tell the difference between the decades right there between the two pictures. You were in color and I was in black and white.
Oh,
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and then we got some of your, this is some of your dancing. I gather you were dancing with a troupe back at that time frame too. Now, can you tell us a little bit about that?
yeah. So if you go, I'm up front, and then John and Kathleen McDermott, and the fourth person is my sister, Tanya.
Ah,
And
yes, that's
then
right.
Danny Walsh is behind her, and we were called the Dueling Dancers. There were a few different incarnations of the group over the years, but this is the original five Dueling Dancers.
Wow.
Um, and we used to go and perform with Buster at fairs and conventions and on TV, and it was such a great experience to get that performance experience at such an early age, to be
Oh,
learning from the masters who not only knew how to dance and play, but they knew how to perform, right?
yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh no, that was a great trip. Well, now your sister, that's right. You kind of rode a little bit on the coattails of your sister. Pardon the pun. It probably was. You know, your sister would probably have a different saying to that, but but your sister now she did she pursue it any farther, or does she still do a little bit of performing herself?
Well, she'll get up and do a few steps or sing a song with me sometimes when I'm performing closer to home, but she's a dental hygienist, so she's the responsible one. She's the one that I call during COVID and say, "Can I have $1,000 till I can pay you back?"
It's nice to have sisters. Oh yeah, and Steve did reply, by the way. Here it is. He said that was it for sure. So
Okay,
there you go.
good.
So it's been verified. It's been verified.
Thank you.
And yeah, so here, and this is you a little bit farther along here. You're probably your, I guess you're early, right? So, and
I'm
you were
getting
doing,
a little bit older, and my bangs are getting a little bit bigger.
and you were, when did it start happening that you joined fiddling and step dancing together? Because even though it was sort of known, not a lot of people did it at that time frame. It was like it was either one or the other. Like you were one of the key people that started to do this, right?
I don't know how many there were before, but I'll tell you that I saw Cindy Thompson do it.
That's right. I
And
forget. She was
yeah,
just a little bit older than you, wasn't she?
and she was my inspiration. Yeah, she was a
Oh,
little bit older
wow.
than me, and I saw her do it somewhere, and I was young enough and brave enough to say, well, if she can do it, I can do it, not realizing how hard it would be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot going on there to try to. It's like patting your head, rubbing your belly, isn't it?
yeah, that's right.
So I'm going to bring up a picture that will probably spark some things for you. I want to get the first thing that comes into your mind when you see these two people.
Hmm. Legendary. We owe so much to those two fiddle players.
Don't we all,
Um,
eh?
I wasn't lucky enough to know Don personally or ever meet him, but I did get to play with and spend a little bit of time with Graham at different events, and he was always very kind and very encouraging to me. Um, and his
Uh, uh,
son Gray and his wife Eleanor as well. So
there were masters at their craft, weren't they?
they really were, and both Don and Graham, masterful players, but also tune writers. And so, the tunes that we consider standards in the repertoire today, a lot of them were written by them.
Yeah, they have had a huge influence on the Canadian fiddling industry just on their own. There's what's the gentleman's name that lives in the Nova Scotia area that's also been a very strong person. I was trying to think of his name earlier on today, but there was certainly a core of them at that time frame that really molded the fiddle playing. So with that, would you like to play a tune? Maybe highlight one of these two gentlemen in your performance. I'm not sure what you got planned for us, but I'm going to let you choose a tune and let you play for the folks right now. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Well, I didn't have a lot planned. I was waiting to see what you were going to bring up. So maybe I'll see if I am not too rusty to play Don Messer's Breakdown.
Oh, that would be awesome. Go ahead, go for it.
And it's hard for me not to tap my foot, but I noticed earlier when we were doing a test that if I stamp my foot, the camera shakes. So I gotta try not to do that.
As long as it does it in time, we're good. Wonderful. That's great. Great tune. That's awesome. Man, let's see if I can get you and me up here. There we go. You'll want to see all my. There we go. Oh, that's wonderful. Great job. Great job. I'll give you a round of applause there too. That was awesome. I was about ready to grab my guitar and jam along with you.
Oh, you should have.
I'm not sure if I'd be able to keep up. Here we have Julia. Let's see what Julia's got for us here. She said, how long? We have already kind of covered this, but a few people have been dropping in a little bit later here. So, and like I say, now this is going to be telling your age, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm having a birthday on April 7th. I don't know how many weeks away that is, but I'll soon be 42. So I started playing when I was 6.
Wow,
yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, and here we go. Who's Steve is saying here? Oh, he says he hope to see you again at the Pembroke Fiddle Park someday soon.
Yeah, I hope so
That's
too.
right. The Pembroke's quite the place up there, right? Fergus, Pembroke.
Yeah, Pembroke has the biggest fiddle and step dance contest combined Labor Day weekend every year, and so that weekend Fiddle Park is the place to be for all the best jam sessions and people from all over Canada and the States, sometimes even beyond, you know?
Yeah, it's the hotbed up there, wasn't it? For sure. So we've all had a few people pass pass through our lives in doing this music industry thing, haven't we? We've always had the pleasure of jamming or playing with a lot of great folks, and you dabbled or at least had the opportunity to get a little foray into the bluegrass end of things. As I can see here, there's a couple well-known gentlemen right there, who's Chubby Wise and Mac Wiseman. My goodness, what happened here? How did you get to meet these two folks?
Well, that was taken, I think, backstage at a fiddle contest in Darien Lake, New York, that we went to, and
Wow.
they were entertaining there, and so that I got a chance to meet them. I didn't meet Chubby again, but Mac, I had a chance to work with a few years ago in 2013.
Wonderful. Yeah, because he just recently passed away, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Um, I contacted him and I said, I'm working on this recording and I was wondering if you'd sing on it. And he said yes.
Wow.
And so we went to his place in Nashville. We recorded the rest of the studio in the rest of the album in a studio. But for his tracks, we went to his house and he just was in his recliner with the microphone and it was just effortless. Like it just poured out of him.
What a great treat. That's something that's going to remain with you forever. That's what a pleasure. I got a pleasure to
Yeah.
work with Mac way back years and years ago doing sound production for him. And what a
Ah,
gentleman. He was such a great guy. He always picked up a band.
yeah.
He never traveled with a band. He always picked up a band and brought them along. And I know the guys worked really hard to learn all the tunes because you never knew what he was going to bring up on stage at the time.
Yeah.
So it was kind of neat to hang around him for a little while for sure.
Yeah,
So oh, go ahead. Sorry.
oh, I was just gonna say he wore so many hats, in
Songwriter, the whole thing, didn't he?
yeah,
He was
he owned a
he had
record
the
label for a while. He was a booking agent. He was a promoter, a festival,
That's
organizer.
One thing in the music industry, you never pigeonhole yourself into one job. You always have something else in there too,
That's
right?
it.
So diversification for sure. And speaking about diversifying, it looks like you got yourself into probably one of the well-known Canadian groups, Bowfire. This now, you're the one that's in the green dress, I think. Is that correct? Would that be right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
So tell me your history or a little bit of your history with Bowfire. That must have been an awesome gig.
it was. It was really fun because that was the whole concept of the show was all of these fiddlers from different genres and traditions. We were all Canadian, but there was classical, there was jazz, there was um, bluegrass. It was really cool. So I had a great time. I started off with them just filling in for someone that couldn't be there. And then over time, I filled in more and more and started performing with them more regularly. But I really loved it, and I
Uh,
miss it.
well, well, we can see that because right here I found a couple pictures of you with a few folks. Look at that, right? There's three ladies that I personally know, and the gentleman I don't have a clue who they are. But it looks like you got Kelly Trottier, Lindsay Beckett, and yourself there. All great fiddle players too. They're very, very
Yeah,
good. That must have been an awesome. We just lost Sean Connery not too long ago. This
yeah,
must be a memory that you'll treasure forever.
definitely. Yeah, we it was so cool to have those experiences, but it was way more special because I was hanging out with Lindsay and Kelly, and the other people in that group. We really felt like family. Yeah,
Yeah, I bet for sure. What a great opportunity to meet some wonderful folks for sure, for sure. Now you've transgressed a little bit. Now I guess you've been how long you've been in the States now? You've been down there for kind of a number of years now, have you?
not really. I've I haven't really called any one place home before COVID because we were touring so much, and I was sort of in transition. Um, but I just got my green card 2 weeks ago. And
Wow.
so now I can say that I live here. But before that, I had a work permit and I could be here, but I couldn't live here. So
Such a
yeah,
difficult place. It's in a limbo basically for a while, right?
yeah, it is. And that was okay. With my lifestyle, it didn't feel like limbo. It felt like being on the road.
Yeah, pretty
But
much, right?
but it's also nice to get some of those things taken care of and feel a little bit more settled and have different options and not worry about, am I going to get the next work permit, you know?
Yeah, because those things are questionable at the best of times.
Yeah.
Now, you were saying that you've met some really great musicians, so especially with Mac and Chubby being one of them. But there's another gentleman that you've kind of got to work with, and I'm not sure how this collaboration ever came to be. How did you get to find Joe and start working with him? Because I don't think a lot of people know Joe up here in Canada as well. They do down in the U.S., but there might be a few folks up here, of course. But tell us a little bit how this union came together.
Well, I've known Joe's music for a really long time. But the way the collaboration finally came together, I was looking for a new guitar player for the Verch band, and was having trouble finding somebody, and I figured it wasn't really something Joe wanted to do, join a band, but I contacted him anyway, and he said, yeah, no, I'm not looking to be in a band, but I'd sure love to work with you sometime.
Oh, wow.
So we sort of put it on the back burner for a little while, and then he reached out again, and he said, you know, I have a month of work that just fell through, you know, and I forget when it was, you know, coming up in a few months. Are you busy then, or would you like to do some shows together? And I happened to have some time. So we said, let's do this. And we did things kind of backwards. This isn't advice I would give to musicians. But we both had some connections, and we said, well, if we're going to do this, let's do it. So we booked some shows, and then we met for the first time and played music together. We were fairly confident we were going to like it.
Right.
And we were right. And so, you know, we've been playing together for a few years now, and I have the Verch band, and then we have our duo, and we go by Newberry and Verch.
Yes, right.
And it's one of my regular gigs.
It's not awesome.
It's really amazing. He's such a great songwriter and storyteller. He plays banjo and guitar.
Yeah, multi-instrumentalist, right? He can handle pretty much anything he puts in front of him. Yeah, he's very, very talented. Yeah, for sure.
So it's been a real thrill. I feel so lucky. Like you said, you get to meet all these fantastic players, but you also get to know them. And, you know, Joe has taught me a lot. Yeah.
That's great. Would you like to share a tune from? You said you had a couple tunes that you might be able to share with us that were kind of around the Newberry Verch collaboration. If you'd like to share something with us, that would be awesome.
Sure. Well, Joe lives in Raleigh now, but he's from Missouri originally. So he grew up listening to Missouri fiddlers and backing them up on guitar. And we love finding the connections between Canadian and old-time American or Missouri tunes. So one of the things that we like to do is play the Métis Canadian version of Arkansas Traveler, and then go into the old-time American type version of Arkansas Traveler. So it's a 2-for-1. So I'll play you a bit of that. It won't be the same without Joe's banjo part, though, but I can hear it in my head.
Oh, wonderful stuff. That is awesome. There we go.
Thank you.
Ah, great. Oh, great hearing that Arkansas Traveler. That's a great great variation of it too. There's so many different versions of that get shared around for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, the congratulations has to go out to you. You just got nominated back in 2020, right? For a Roots Album of the Year. Look at that. Here it is, right here. Look at that. Good for you. And what a fine list of people to be nominated in too. You must be totally pleased with this.
I know. Oh, yeah.
How's it feel? How's it feel to be nominated? This isn't your first time too. Didn't you have? Wasn't back in 2001 Virtuosity that also got nominated?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Oh,
almost
good for
20
you.
years apart.
That's success in the Canadian way, right?
It was a thrill. You know, I always say that I try not to put too much stock in awards and recognition like that. That's not what it's about, but it always feels nice to be recognized by your peers in the industry, you know, because it just makes you feel like other people are enjoying what you do, and you know, that
It's like a little
it does
badge of
matter.
honor, basically. It's a badge of honor to
Yeah.
to have those kinds of accolades just by your, like you say, by your peers for sure.
Yeah.
So once a day, what a great. Now this is I know you more for your playing. Is this your first album that you basically sang most of the way through, or is that where this came from?
No, I started singing on albums in 2003.
Oh wow, okay.
But there weren't always as many vocals. This one is more vocals. Some earlier ones were too, though. I kind of go back and forth a little bit. This is the first one though that was a tribute to classic country music. So it's a tribute to the 50s and 60s
Totally, yeah.
country stuff, and that is just something that has, you know, been part of my life from the beginning. I got to grow up around the legendary musicians of the Ottawa Valley, thanks to Buster Brown, you know, taking us along for all those performances. But I got
You meet
to know them.
tons of players back then, for sure.
Yeah.
Because they would be all backing you up when you're step dancing, most of them, right?
Yeah, definitely. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's just, that feels like home to me. Classic country feels like home.
Did your dad play with some of those people back at that time frame as well? Because I know your dad was. And now, is your mom also a bit of a player as well, or is your dad more you're focused on your dad?
Yeah. My dad plays guitar and sings, and Mom is our biggest fan, and sewed all those fancy costumes back in the day that you were looking at.
So she put all her heart right in the show part of it all, didn't she?
Definitely, yeah. She was a big part of that. Helping us speak clearly and come up with what to say when we were, you know, too young to figure out introducing things ourselves, you know.
Now speaking of young, you took a little trip back here. Look at this. Now this is you just released this not too long ago. You're doing some kids songs, and are these songs that you've written, or are there been a few that that you brought back? Or so tell us a little bit about this album, because this is a little different approach for you. This is something outside your wheelhouse.
Yeah, definitely. It came out in July last year, and it was a creation of COVID. I probably wouldn't have thought of it otherwise. But there we were at home, not able to tour. I have nieces and nephews and friends that, you know, children were at home and bored and not able to go out, and I thought, well, what can I do?
And this is it. This is what came out of this is the COVID project then.
So we recorded it at home. I wrote almost all the songs. I think there are 2 or 3 that are traditional children's songs, but the rest of them I wrote, and it was a labor of love, you know. I hope it'll live on for a long time. It's not going to get a Juno nominee or anything.
But you never know.
No, I'm pretty sure. I didn't enter it, so I'm sure.
You'd have to push Splash and Boots off the roster up here for sure. Did you have a song that your last tune? We're going to get you to do one more tune before you put your fiddle down. That you would like to share from one of these 2 projects? You're welcome to choose whatever you like.
Well, sure. Maybe I'll do a little bit of the Lake Dory Waltz since we have a whole bunch of people from the Brockville area that are probably familiar with it. It's certainly a hit in the Ottawa Valley.
It
Um,
sure is.
it was written by the late and great Mac Beatty,
There we
and
go.
we're actually planning another Mac Beatty song for our show next week.
Oh,
I
that'd be
won't tell
great.
you which one, but it has to do with St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, there you go. We'll keep everybody in suspense for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll let April Verch play another tune for you. Here we go. A little bit of Lake Dory. Oh, what a beautiful tune. Well,
Yeah,
that's
it is.
beautiful. Great job. That's awesome. Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's great. All right, April. Well, we're wrapping up. We're getting pretty close to the end of the show. And thank you so much for taking the time to come and visit with us. And listen,
Pleasure.
folks, all the people out there in Facebook land, if you are looking for to get a hold of April to maybe purchase one of her CDs and keep track of what's happening with April over the next little while, go check her out. She's got her website there at aprilverch.com, Facebook at April Verch Band, and our Twitter handle is April Verch. And I believe you probably have a few other social media sites out there as well. But once again, April, now everybody was kind of wondering why we're doing this, and it's basically just to promote our show next week. And Cody is coming along with you, I guess, next week. Is that your
Yeah.
partner?
My
Oh, that'd be
my,
awesome.
my husband Cody plays guitar and clawhammer banjo. He also plays bass, but when we play just as a duo, he usually sticks to guitar and banjo. And so, yeah, and I have to tell you, we've been working on some stuff. And when we set this up, you told me to make sure, since it was part of the March St. Patrick's Day series, to include some Irish stuff. So
Yeah, oh,
that's not normal for me, but I've been working at it, and we're going to try some new stuff. And I've
Oh,
had
that's
great
great.
fun making up excuses to do stuff as well. Like I found a fiddle tune about a shepherd, and so I'm really stretching it now. So I'm like, well, Cody, I think this one qualifies because there's a lot of sheep in Ireland.
You should be just perfectly safe with that. I'm just going to bring up a couple little things here. Just a few folks that have chimed in and wanted to say
Aw.
hello.
Hi, John and Carol.
There you go. And also we have a message also here from Ron.
Oh, I have to
it's,
tell
uh,
you about Ron.
Oh my.
I'm gonna debut a new instrument that I have been given from Ron. No one else has seen it yet, but next week during the concert, I'm going to pull it out and play a tune on it. So you can
Oh
look
wow!
forward to
So
that.
okay, Ron's got to definitely keep an eye out for that for sure. Oh, that's awesome! Good stuff. So that's right, folks. So remember, for next week we have April coming back with us from. Let me see if I can bring this up fully. Don't watch us on our Facebook channel, on our and on our YouTube, the Upper Canada Musicians Facebook page and a YouTube page. And I think we're going to try to simulcast this over onto April's Facebook and YouTube as well. So if you're going to be able to catch it there, you can catch it with us as well. We have to also thank the Music Performance Trust Funds, who's been funding this project for us. So we're very, very happy to have them as partners with this organization. So let's see if we can bring it up. There we go. Well, thank you again, April. It's hard to believe that almost 40 minutes has scooted past us here. The time just disappears, doesn't it? It's just
It really
amazing.
does.
Got a lot to talk about. You're a very popular person. You got lot of history behind you. And congratulations. I forgot to mention this. Next year for you, you'll be celebrating your 25th anniversary with the Upper Canada Musicians Association. So congratulations there. And pre-happy birthday. We always wondered how you got the name April, and now the questions have been answered. So
That's right.
well, thanks again, April. Take care of yourself and have a safe week. And ladies and gentlemen, come back next week, next Wednesday, March the 24th at 7 p.m. and come and catch April and Cody's show. This should be just an awesome time. So once again, thank you so much, April. Have yourself
Thanks,
a great
Al.
week. All right, and stay well.
Take care, everybody.
Okay, bye for now.